Beyond the Wrench with Jay Gannon from Find a Wrench.
Welcome to another edition of Beyond the Wrench. I am your host, Jay Gannon, and today we're talking with one of our recurring guests, Mark Wilson. As you know, Mark is the CEO of Find a Wrench and WrenchWay, and is here today to talk to us a little bit about the newly launched WrenchWay Insider app. I wanted to get him on to really discuss what it's about, how it plays into WrenchWay in general, and really hopefully give some understanding to our audience. So how are you doing today, Mark?
I am wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm good. Hopefully I didn't load that intro up too much with just kind of mumbling about the Insiders app. But we just came out with this app. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, no, we're excited to get it out there. The app currently, it's called WrenchWay Insiders. It's currently available in both the main app stores. So on your iPhone, it's the App Store and then the Google Play Store as well. It is invite only, so you can message us. There's a link on our WrenchWay website, or just send an email to info@wrenchway.com to get your invite. But it'll be that way as we kind of work out the details. But the main point of the app, along with other things we do at WrenchWay, is to hear different voices regarding issues in the industry. So we wanted to make it fun for everyone, but really mostly technicians, to give their thoughts and feedback on different industry topics. You can go through some of those here in a second, but the way the app works is you sign up and then we post what we call challenges. They're short little multiple choice questions. It might be about the type of pay structure a technician prefers, or reimbursing for tools, or different thoughts on training or warranty rates. Different topics that we post short questions. The technician, but then also shop managers or whoever else want to respond, can answer the questions. They can add comments if they want, but we reward them for providing their feedback. So every time they answer some of those questions, they get entries into different games that we have. And the games are simple, just fun little kind of card games that each week, whoever scores the most points will give away different prizes. Right now, I think this week's prize is a $100 Amazon gift card. Those prizes will increase as we build the app. But then also the winner gets a chance at a bigger pot. So you get the Amazon gift card, and those will vary each week on what it is. But then you get entered into another game called Queen of Hearts, where basically you're picking a card out of a deck, and then the pot builds each week. Right now, I think it's at $700. So if you win that, you get the just straight cash for that as well. Pretty simple concept, though. We're trying to get technicians, shop managers, industry professionals to give us their feedback, to engage in conversation. We then take that information. It's all anonymous, but we'll create videos out of it. We'll create white papers or just blog posts. We share the information with our top shops so they can kind of get some insights when it comes to recruiting or things like that. We'll never share the user's name or contact information or anything like that. But some of the reports might say, technicians with 5+ years experience answered it this way. Technicians with less than that, or students, answered it that way. So again, it's using the data to provide the different size, meaningful insights, but to protect the identity of the people. Does that kind of make sense, Jay? But just basically a fun way to get people engaged in conversation, see what we can do to improve the industry, to get more kids going into the industry, and then give prizes along the way. It's not meant to be something that takes an hour a week or anything like that. Really what we're trying to do is get people to spend 2-3 minutes a week, maybe take a week off here and there. But I always say that everyone has plenty of time throughout the day, whether you're waiting for your friend to meet you for lunch, or you're just sitting on the couch at night kind of watching TV. Answering these questions takes a minute or two, and then another minute or two to play the game to try to win the prize. Real simple, but yet fun and useful app for people in the industry to help contribute to making progress.
You summarize it far better than I do. So that worked out well.
I felt like I was rambling quite a bit there. So,
No,
but I think you get the point.
yeah. So it's always hard for me because I always feel like I'm coming off as salesy when I'm doing this, but really the intent behind this really is to really mix in that voice of technician and really kind of stop speaking on behalf of them and really use the data that we get back in response for this to turn it into good content that we can really hopefully do some teaching on. Have you seen some level of that with responses to the app and maybe people being able to give good candid answers where maybe they couldn't have before?
Yeah, I think we're starting to see that. I mean, it is new, so the size of our user base is pretty small. It's growing quickly though. So as we get more users, the feedback will be more powerful. Right now, it's kind of anecdotal. So we're seeing good stuff in there, but we need more users to identify trends, I guess, and things like that. One point you had made to sound salesy. One of the reasons we named WrenchWay completely different from our Find a Wrench recruiting services is the last thing we want is for anyone downloading the app to feel like they might be being sold to or bombarded or anything like that. No, myself and then a couple of the developers get access to the user information, but nobody else, not our recruiters, not our salespeople. We did that intentionally. It probably made our own internal team, especially on the recruiter side, a little mad that we did that. But our thought is we just want to get people signed up, giving their feedback. We do have a tab in there that lists all of our top shops. So if they are looking for a job, they can scroll through those, but they do that on their time. If they want to reach out to us to help them find a better shop to work at or something like that, of course, we're willing to do it. But this app is not meant to be for straight up recruiting at all or any sales side. It truly is an anonymous thing to get feedback and to hear from technicians. So I think it's important. I missed that point on the first explanation, but I think that is hugely important for us to keep reminding folks. And there'll be maybe a little skepticism about that. So it's kind of just us proving that out, that, you know, when you're signing up for this, you're not signing up to have shops calling you all the time to work for them. It's the ball's in your court. If you want to scroll through their top shop page and see someone interesting, you can reach out to them, but we're never going to give away your contact information. That's definitely priority number one with the app.
Yeah, I think that's super, super important for people to recognize that. And I think the other piece to recognize is that it is a real program, right? Like I think some people see that the prizes that are given away and they're pretty awesome prizes, and they wonder, okay, is this like kind of one of those too good to be true type things? And not to sound corny, but we've had that message where people say, is this real? And it's
right.
it's hard to get through the point to like that information is incredibly valuable to us because it does help us do some things that we wouldn't normally be able to do in terms of content and being able to really give that feedback to shops. And I say it all the time, but bring more people in and keep the ones we already have. And in order to keep the ones we already have in the industry, we've got to learn more about you guys, and we've got to learn more about what you like, what you don't like, and really hopefully build some good valuable data off of that. So I think that's one of the funny things to me is that I've got that question a couple times from people like, is this a real program? And you're like, yeah, this is actually, you can actually win some cool prizes for not doing that much work for them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm skeptical of things by nature myself, so I would be as well. That's why we make that point to tell people that we aren't giving away any contact information. I mean, that data is huge for us. It's huge for the shops we work with. Again, we make everything anonymous so we can give them the trends and the insights without passing along any contact information. But then the prizes, I mean, we're starting to get sponsors that want to, instead of us buying $100 Amazon gift card, you know, they want to sponsor it. So whether that's a tool company or other industry groups we work with, as we grow, we'll start to get them. They'll want their name listed on the sponsorship, but it's well worth it for them for if they can sponsor it for a week. to be listed on there and have a lot of technicians seeing that they are the one sponsoring it. That's easy decision for them. So that's why the more users will grow, the prizes will get even bigger as well. We don't see that as ever being a revenue source for us to sell those sponsorships. Instead, we just wanted every dollar we bring in for the sponsorship just makes the prizes better. So I think it's a pretty cool concept that everyone can get value, but still protect your identity and kind of your time from having to deal with too many people calling and reaching out to you or emailing you or things like that.
Yeah, it really is protecting them. And that's maybe one thing I like even over and above what we do with LinkedIn too, where when you give a response on there in comments, everybody sees what you're saying, whereas this is far more protected and you don't have to feel like you're going to get, if by giving an answer that you have potential to get fired by your employer or that you have somebody look at you in a different way because of your response. You can truly give your true feelings and not feel intimidated by, one thing or the other. It's really that candid piece to me that really helps us get the real message out rather than just kind of sugarcoating it.
Yeah. And not just protecting I guess it is still protecting the user, but in the future, we want shops to be able to post challenges as well, or I should say we'll post them on behalf of the shop. So if we work with a shop in, Houston, Texas, we can post it to only technicians in that area and to kind of get their thoughts on what they've heard about this shop, show their Top Shop profile page to see if they'd be interested in working there or just their thoughts on the pictures or whatever else is in there. But that's great information for the shop to get candid stuff that they probably wouldn't get directly because we keep it anonymous. So we'll never share what technician said that, but it's a great way for the shops to kind of help figure out what their reputation is in their city and to get a little more honest feedback that way. There's just a lot of different ways we can take this, that some of the challenges will benefit the industry as a whole, but then others will be geared towards specific shops and looking for kind of brutal honesty with that. We'll never share those results with other people besides that shop manager or owner either. So if we post one and if that shop gets just trashed and they realize that, they don't have a very good reputation or, something has negatively happened in the past that people are still hearing about, it's important for the shop to know that, but it's not for us to broadcast that to the world and display those results. We're only going to give those results, again, all anonymous, but we're only going to share that with the shop as well. So I think when it comes to these things, it's always good to be transparent in some areas, but it's more important for these type of things to share the info, but protect the identity because you get more honest and candid feedback when you do that.
Well, and that's how you learn too. I feel like that's, when it's not sugar coated and it's the real kind of response, I think that's where you can actually, when you look at it in a kind of in a manner where you take it as constructive criticism, if it is negative, you can learn a lot and hopefully make some positive changes in your shop to as a result, or just know that maybe, hey, that you just had one upset person, the rest of them are happy, that kind of stuff. So I think that's such a big piece in making sure that as a shop you're looking in the mirror and understanding what your perception is in the market, because I think Mark can attest to it as well as I can. Not all shops quite understand that side. They might think they do in terms of what their perception among the general technician population is, but when we've had plenty of instances where we're on the recruiting side talking to a tech and what they tell us isn't the same as what the shop's telling us, and there's definitely a difference there. So trying to get everybody on the same page, I think, helps the shops, it helps the techs, and hopefully gets some level of change to some of those shops that might need it.
Yeah, and it's not just the negative either. I mean, I think that's the easy example, but when we allow shops or when we post challenges about a specific shop to technicians in their area, we can help to uncover some of those maybe negative trends that they didn't know about, but also we can highlight some of the things they do that's really cool. Maybe they have special type of training program, or mentoring or career development or something just different that they do. We want to highlight that, get feedback from the technicians, but it's building awareness. So when we post that out to technicians in the area, some inevitably probably are looking for a new place to work. So if they like what they see there, then they can choose to then go and apply at that shop. Again, we're not going to turn around and hand the contact information over to the shop. The technician has to proactively choose to do it themselves. But I don't want it to be just negative stuff too on their reputation. It's also important to highlight the ones that do a really good job and make technicians aware of that as well.
So true. So true. So how does this play in? We talk a lot about what we came out with WrenchWay, and to try and avoid some confusion here, how does WrenchWay Insiders, the app, kind of work with WrenchWay in general?
Yeah, I think we're figuring that out. So WrenchWay in general, at first, it was a better way for different shops to kind of show off how it is to work at their place. So what frustration we were seeing in the market was, if you're a technician and you go to any of the big job boards and you type out, auto technician or diesel technician or whatever job title you're looking for, you're just bombarded. If you're in a city, probably 100, 200 plus, you scroll through them, they all look the same. So with WrenchWay at first, we wanted to build pages that these shops could use for their own recruiting efforts, almost like a resume to highlight, here's how we handle compensation. Here's how we handle benefits. Here's pictures of our shop. Here's a path for your career development. Stuff that is geared specifically to the industry, but goes much further than that little, paragraph that you're allowed to post in a normal job board. So we still have those pages. We still have the listing, but really when you and I started WrenchWay, we wanted, the bigger concept would be to just get all sides talking and figure out what issues are in the industry, how we can help solve those, and then how we ultimately can get more people going into the industry. So our initial, what we came out with on that Top Shop listing, that was not the product as a whole. I would call that a feature. So one of the features is a list of here's all the best shops in the area. Scroll through them. If you like what you see, you can apply for them or you can sign up to learn more. But then the next phase is everyone who's involved in the industries, we post these challenges and you give us your thoughts on the way it should be. So, your opinion on why this part of your job sucks or this part of how schools train people could be improved. We want that feedback. So I would call it just, this is our second kind of big feature of WrenchWay. The first one was a better place for shops to promote and show what it's like to actually work there. That's number one. Number two is this app is meant to get people giving their opinions and seeing how things can be improved in the industry. Hopefully that makes sense, but It's not ever going to be just one. Like, we don't want to be the next Indeed or anything like that. We want to be WrenchWay. We always say WrenchWay the way it should be. We want it to be a place where technicians, schools, shop managers, shop owners can go share their opinion, connect with others that are doing cool things. It's more kind of a movement than one specific just feature of a site, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does to me. And I think that's the cool part about seeing this kind of, as we evolve the product and as we evolve WrenchWay in general. I think it's really, I don't know, like I for me, as being around the industry all my life, I think this is something that has been sorely needed for a long time. And I've really heard that as we've gone out, and even as, we wrapped up Tech Mission and people want it, they keep talking about keep the voice going, keep the ball rolling. And to me, this is a really, really easy way to keep that going and really keep that voice that might not always be heard kind of out there in the forefront, so we can make some real changes. And I've seen some just incredible feedback so far off of not only the app, but everything we're doing. It's a lot of fun, because I think at the core of it, that's what we're trying to do. We're really trying to make some impactful changes within the industry, and hopefully we're doing that.
Yeah, I'd say we're in like the top of the second inning. a long ways to go, but I don't see us building out 20 things similar to the Top Shop listing we have or the WrenchWay Insiders app. We'll maybe add a couple more of those, but really we want that foundation of really it's the three main areas I always look at are a better way to get technicians and shops connecting and figuring out where is a good fit for them to work at. That is what we built with Top Shops. We'll keep expanding on that. We'll keep growing the audience on both sides. So that's number one. Number two is getting all sides talking about issues in the industry. So this WrenchWay Insiders app is our first attempt at that. And again, we'll build that. We'll keep all sides talking. And then the last one is really the next generation. What can we do to help schools, whether that's tech schools or even high schools, to get them to get more kids interested in it. So we'll have a lot at the beginning of 2021 coming out with that. But then those are, you and I have talked a lot of like the three kind of legs to the stool to improve the industry and grow the industry. It's those three things. So again, just to recap, having a place for shops and technicians to connect, having a place to engage in conversation and get feedback. And then the last one is a place for schools for us to help schools figure out what they need in terms of resources and getting more kids involved. But that's what we see as kind of the vision of WrenchWay, is those three things all coming together under the umbrella of WrenchWay.
And I think it's heading that direction. I mean, from where we started with it to where we are now with it, and being able to kind of get that community and that voice, I think helps all of those three pieces of that vision. And it's cool to see it kind of grow and see where we're going with it. So I'm excited. I know you're excited, Mark. I think it can be a big deal and a really a game changer in our industry. I think it really could make some positive impact to everything. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, like I said, we're very early in the process, but so far the feedback has been great on all sides. We're just now starting to talk to some of the schools, but so far on the technician side and on the shop/management side, feedback has been awesome so far. Really kind of a fourth component to that is like the tool companies or some other industry companies. And right now they're the ones that are sponsoring the prizes, things like that. But it'll be interesting to see how they get involved as well, because we all need and will benefit if we can help solve some of these issues and ultimately get more people going to school to be a technician or embracing I mean, we all see the trends of how the shortage is getting worse and worse, and it's not going to get fixed overnight, but this is kind of our attempt to help start the ball rolling. And it's been awesome to see a lot of people on all sides kind of raise their hands and say, hey, I want to help with that too. We don't know exactly how it's going to be, but we're going to figure it out together and build something cool to hopefully look back years from now and say, this is what started it for us to make a real change in the industry. And that there's few things I think that I've done professionally that are more exciting than what we're about to embark on.
Same here. It is really cool to be able to facilitate some of this stuff and to see the reaction we're getting from industry is super rewarding. And I think we're on to doing some pretty cool things here. So appreciate the update, Mark. Appreciate everything you've done in developing this and really kind of driving that change home. Anything you want to add before we part ways here?
Just last thing, if you haven't checked out the app, you can download it. Like I said, you need an invite, so just go to the WrenchWay website and you'll see the link for that. We also did just add a way that you can, if you are a user already, within the app, you can invite your friends. So people that, coworkers or people maybe you went to school with or others in the industry, and you'll get some points for doing that as well, which gives you a better chance of winning those prizes. So I'd say just if you haven't checked out the app, go download it. If you already have it, keep using it, but invite others and keep spreading the word.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Mark. Appreciate it and have a great day.
Yep, you too. Thanks.